Hello everyone, this is Rugio Duelis. I'm back here with another video. It's been a while since I last uploaded a video. I'm here to show you my second place Salamangreat deck profile. Yes, it took a while, but I finally managed to top with a different deck other than Floowandereeze. So let's get started. Here I have the side and the extra deck. So let's get started with the deck profile. I'm proud of this deck. It used to be one of my favorite decks. It still is one of my favorite decks that I played when it came out. I know it's gotten a little bit popular due to the metagame. All right, let's get started. So I play one copy of Gazelle. Start with the monster lineup. I play two copies of Foxy. I think Foxy as a 2-up is good enough. You can run 3 if you want to. The card is still pretty good, decent overall. Then we play 2 copies of Jack Jaguar. Comes to this one, I think you play 2 and that's it for the most part. You don't need to run too many more. 3 Spinny. To me, Spinny is a 3-up must in the deck. Some people play 2. All up to personal preference. 1 Falco to recover the Salamangreat spells and traps. 1 Foul. I've noticed that people no longer play Foul, but it's still a very great extender, and it's a level 4. It's good for rank 4 purposes to summon up Abyss Dweller and Baguska. Still a very good card. Moving off the Salamangreat cards, going into Cyberse, I play 2 copies of Flame Buffalo. Some people max out on this guy at 3, but I like it as a 2-up. I noticed that when I play 3, me personally, I think it breaks a little bit too much, and I don't like summoning Buffalo, discarding Buffalo, another Flame Buffalo to resolve the draw effect. I think 2 is good enough for me. Might bump it up to 3, depending on how things work out in the future. Then we play 2 Parallel Exceed. You know what this guy is for. Rank 4 plays and whatnot, other reasons as well. More on him a little bit later, I guess. And I play 1 Gatcheri at Ignister. This is to summon up your big beaters and make your monster unaffected by everything and just OTK your opponent with no problem. Then I play 2 copies of Microcoder for a Code Talker package. We do run a Code Talker package in this deck. I play 2. It's okay. Every deck has its breaks. To me, it hasn't break that much. It's pretty good. Now we're moving on to the spells. So I play 1 copy of Salamangreat Sanctuary. You guys know what this does for Salamangreat, for those of you who played the deck before. Could run more, but most people just play 1. 1 is good enough. Then we are playing 2 copies of Pot of Desires. The 2-up, of course. As of the last ban list, this card is now semi-limited. It might go back to 3 in the next ban list for sure, but for now 2 is good enough. Desires into Desires is back. Thought it was always okay. I'm glad. More draw power is always good. Moving on from there, we are playing 2 copies of Signet Mining. I chose to play 2. I used to play 3 just like in the past, but honestly, this deck is so it's so consistent, and you always, and like 9.5 times out of 10, you're always going to get the card that you want, that you don't even, nowadays, you don't need to play 3. 2 is good enough. But if you want to play 3, that's fine. I think 2 is perfect. It's a perfect ratio for the modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! When it comes to Salamangreat. Then we are playing from 2 now to 3 copies of Salamangreat Circle. Great card, searches for any Salamangreat monster. Still very good. The second effect is overlooked and underrated. More on this a bit later. But yeah, I do play 3. I still think even at 3 it might break, but it's still a very, very, very great card nonetheless. I would play 3 of this instead of playing 3 through a Signet Mining. You still have 5 searchers, so. And then, moving on, I play 3 copies of Will of the Salamangreat. I've seen people play 1 and bump it up to 2. I play 3 because I want to see this card as fast as possible. But again, a Monster Reborn and a Soul Charge for the deck is always great. Still testing it out. Might cut it to 2, but I think 3 is working okay right now. All right. Then I'm playing this card It's called Signet Backdoor. So the theory behind this card is that I banish a Salamangreat card or any card that your opponent might want to remove. You search for a Cyberus monster whose attack is weaker than the monster you banish. Then the other monster comes back during the standby phase. I played this many times. It's worked out pretty well. It can dodge cards like Imperm and Valor. They try to negate your Foxy or your Gazelle. It's very, very good. I used to have 3, but I think lately 3 has started to break, so I cut it down to 2. I think 2 is the perfect ratio for me for this card. Underrated. No one plays this card. No one even knows what it does, or most people don't know what it does. Still pretty good. Moving on, I play 1 Salamangreat Transcendence. It does the same thing as the field spell, but as a quick play spell during the opponent's turn. More on this a bit later. All right. Moving on from there, we will continue on with the spells. I also main deck 2 Triple Tactics Talent. Again, hand traps, like any Omni Negate, you play this, you steal their monster, you draw 2, maybe even loop their hand, shuffle 1 back into the deck. 2 is a good ratio. Then, moving on to these one-offs, 1 Foolish Burial, you know what this is. Send Jack Jaguar or Spinny to the graveyard, trigger Gazelle's effect. And 1 for 1 to get to the microcoder, all the more faster for the Axis Code package. Alrighty, stay there. Moving on. Then the final spell for the main deck, we play 1 Twin Twister for back row removal, just in case. Now for the traps, this is a 40-card deck, so the final 4 traps are Signet Conflict, again, searchable off the microcoder, Code Talker package. 1 Omni Negate plus Banish, and your opponent can't activate any more that same card the same turn. Then I play 1 Salamangreat Rage, and I play 2 Salamangreat Roars. Now I've seen now this is debatable, up to personal preference. You can run 2 of this or 2 of this like I'm doing, or like 1 of each. I choose 2 Roars and 1 Rage because with cards like Despia and like Sorcel and stuff like that running around, I would rather have an Omni Negate. Plus, a lot of the times when you pop Despia, you'll trigger their effects. It's mostly because of that deck. I'm sure there's other around, but I would rather have the Omni Negate trap card, okay, like the Solemn Judgment of the deck, than the pop effect. At least in this format, I might switch them around. Apologies for the camera shake. But yeah, that is the main deck. That is the Salamangreat main deck. Now let's move on to the side deck, and then I'll quickly move on to the extra deck. So for the side deck, I play Triple Raigeki, Breaking Boards. This card is back to 3. I'm sure most of you already knew that. Alpha, the Master of Beasts, to break boards as well, 2 of them. I play Triple Dimensional Barrier. Again, you guys know for the tier 1/tier 2 decks, this card is like a turn skip for most decks in the meta, especially the meta decks. The tier 1, tier 2 decks, I should say. 1 Evenly Match, 1 Lightning Storm. These are okay. I don't think I never had a chance to resolve it in the locals tournament. Moving on. Then moving on next card, Godarla, a Kaiju for Floowandereeze, a second copy of Twin Twister for more back row removal, and the final 3 cards, one-offs, Red Reboot, Harpy's Feather Duster for back row removal, and 1 Pancratops for any annoying combo or control deck that's around there, running around in the meta, in the game. Moving on, now for the extra deck. The extra deck is like, I like it as the way it is. Like, a lot of people might not agree with me. They always play rank 4s and stuff like that. Let's get on. Mine is a little bit more predictable for the most part. I play 3 Baylings. You know, get that link 1 out, get your field spell, get that protection out when you send it to the graveyard. 3 Sunlight Wolf, standard. The link 2 is very important. Recycle your fire monsters, recycle your spells and traps. 2 Heatleo. Some people no longer play Heatleo. I still like it. It's good for the back row removal. A little bit underrated from time to time. Then 1 Mirage Stallion. I am aware that this card is back to 3, but you only need 1 up for the deck anyways. 1 is all you need, believe me. 1 Deco Talker Heatzel, and he's part of the package that I show you with the microcoder and the sign net conflict. Also, I'm sure you noticed, but very quickly, you can search. In addition to the counter trap, you can search these 2 off of this, because they are sign net spells, and this searches for a sign net spell or trap. Moving on, the extra deck, we're almost there. I play 1 number 60 Dugras the Timeless. You get this guy out with your Jack Jaguar and your Foul or your or Falco, and boost any of your monsters, double their attack points for OTK purposes. Then we are playing IP Masquerena and Borrelsword Dragon. Again, this works well with the Borrelsword. You won't be destroyed by card effects. IP Masquerena protecting it, and this guy bumping the Borrelsword to 6,000 for a possible OTK. And finally, the last 2 cards in the extra deck. No one is playing this, but I like it. I really, really like it. I don't think it's that great in this format, but still, with the Will of the Salamangreat, I think this card, it's very good. Like for OTK purposes, also good. I play the Salamangreat Link 4, Pyro Phoenix. If you reincarnate Link this guy, you basically blow up your opponent's board. There are a lot of meta decks that they may or may not be affected by it. Depends on the player and on your skill level. Mine's okay. It's not the best, not the worst. But you can also use this guy to power him up to all the way to 56 because he's 28 exactly. Also, this in combination with a certain card, which I will not mention right now, is bonkers because you get this guy out, and there's a card in the main deck that allows you to quickly go into this, and you can easily OTK your opponent. Easily, if they don't have like something to protect them from during the battle phase, or like an Omni Negate during main phase 1. And that is it for my Salamangreat deck profile. I like this deck. I'm glad I got to play it again. I'm gonna keep playing it and testing it alongside Floowandereeze. It's been an awesome day. It's great to be back to doing deck profiles. I'm gonna keep doing my very best to top from time to time and show more deck profiles. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! With all my heart and soul. I want to keep playing it until the day I die. Well, that is it. All right, Gazelle, you say goodbye to everyone, and everyone say goodbye to Gazelle and everyone else in the deck, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's end it right there. You guys have a great day, and play if you can. All right, we're off. Bye-bye.